These attached studies highlight the effects of dehydration on cognitive or skill-related aspects of performance, and the review article that I've attached there really goes through the literature on specific cognitive behaviour measures and the effect of dehydration. And it suggests that if we do have levels of dehydration that are around 2% of body mass loss, then we certainly do see impairments in cognitive performance tasks, and there may even be a suggestion that lower levels of dehydration around the 1% mark might actually also impair some of the cognitive performance measures. One of the difficulties with a lot of these studies reviewed in this article is the method that is used to induce dehydration. Fluid loss is often induced by exercise or heat exposure, and it's difficult to separate the effect of fluid loss versus the effect of just getting hot or actually doing exercise on some of these measures. I've attached a couple of other papers looking at specific sport skill related aspects and the effect of dehydration, and interestingly these papers suggest that dehydration doesn't have very much of an adverse effect on some of the sport specific skill measures associated in these studies. So I'm a little bit less convinced that dehydration is a huge issue for some of the skill related aspects of performance, but I do think there's likely to be high individual variability. If you look at the variability in these studies, particularly the sport related studies, you will see a large standard deviations in some of the measures. So some people may be adversely affected, whereas other people may not be so affected. So I certainly think it's still something worth monitoring if you do have an athlete who is involved in very highly skilled aspects of sport performance, but it certainly might be we might need to make our hydration recommendations on an individual basis in this scenario.